Aquarius. This is my favorite card from the collection, the Kim Kranz Astrological Greeting Card Collection. Hey, so it's November 10th, 2020, and this is your cosmic weather forecast. If you want to catch the full-length video, go to YouTube and it'll be there. We're talking about the cosmic weather forecast for Aquarius. We still have the planet that rules you, the planet Uranus in Taurus. That's the modern ruler. The traditional ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, and Saturn continues to be in Capricorn, where it is also hanging out with Jupiter and Pluto. We've got a new moon in Scorpio on 11/14, and we have a lot of action coming your way later, but right now it's a little bit quiet in a way for you, even though things may be feeling really bad. So, sorry. Okay. In early winter, here's what's coming up. And it's going to be a lot different than what we've been experiencing. Let's see, at the beginning of winter, the winter that begins at the very end of 2020, Jupiter and Saturn both are moving into your sign, Aquarius. And that's going to take place during the beginning, actually, of Capricorn season, I believe, or is it the last day of Sagittarius season? So before we have your sun time, the time when the sun is in your sign, we'll already have these slower moving planets coming into your sign, really beginning some long-term work in shifting the collective. Additional long-term work in shifting the collective, as we know it's taking place right now as well. But these planets moving into Aquarius are a big deal and marking truly, for me, the beginning of the age of Aquarius, where so much shifts, so much shiftiness is taking place, but in a way that will ultimately be so good. So, of course, anything that good is going to take a lot of work and a lot of time. A lot of effort. So right now is a great time for you to begin to notice where you have built up resentment that you are directing onto members of your inner circle. The folks that you see regularly, like your partner, your family, your housemates, your coworkers, your parents. And beginning to first just noticing where that is taking place. Hi, babe. And then beginning to examine how very much of that actually should be directed at the patriarchy and the various systems of oppression we have known under patriarchal rule. So some of what has happened is that these big players, these important players in your life, have done, said, or been certain ways that have harmed you, and maybe are continuing to harm you, but beginning to understand that they were conditioned, that they were harmed, and that things would be so different for both of you, or all of you, if you weren't having to attempt to live and survive and thrive under the gaslighting, under the oppression, under the deceit and bullshit of the patriarchy and white supremacy, and the energy that goes into upholding those systems. The energy that it requires to be successful within these realms under this oppression. How much work that you have had to do, how much work that they have had to do, and how much mental gymnastics you've had to do to reconcile and believe that you're living in a world that isn't just harming you. Because how do you make any strides towards success with that knowledge, right? So we had to create stories. We had to make certain players in our life bad people to make sense of the world that we're living in, and to believe what we're being fed and taught by these greater systems of oppression. There's a lot of confusion there. There's a lot of conditioning, obviously. What would you be like if you were able to release all of the layers of conditioning that have been put upon you? And if that were to happen, if somehow miraculously all of your layers of conditioning were to just go flying off from your body, from your energetic body, from your emotional body, all of that was to release, who would you be? And as that person, would you be able to recognize in your loved ones the many, many layers of conditioning that they have taken on and the conditioning that they've integrated as parts of themselves? Would you be able to see them for who they really are, for their heart? A miraculous release of the layers of conditioning may not be available. Maybe for some of us, we would experience such a miracle. Some people might call that a spiritual awakening. Some people might call it a nervous breakdown. There are ways to release your conditioning without a miracle or without a breakdown. And it's slow and steady, mindful work and self-reflection. When I was tapping into your energy, I heard something like, "You don't own me." I don't think that you were talking to me. I felt like just this kind of sense that you needed your partner to know that they're not the boss of you, that you needed your mom or your housemate or someone, your boss, to feel you pushing against them and rejecting their attempt at controlling you. You want to say, "You can't tell me what to do." You can't tell me what to do. They can. They can and they do, right? They literally do. They try. They say these words, and sometimes you listen to them and sometimes you don't. You always choose whether or not you're going to follow someone's directions or suggestions. You may not realize you're choosing it if you got stuck in the mindset of, "I have to. They're making me." But there's always a choice. Folks close to you weighing in on the way you do life is real. Their meddling is real. Their attempts at controlling you is real. And what is also just as real is your fucking response to these people. And that's what you own. You own how you respond. And you own and are responsible for the way that you think and what you are thinking. You can be mindful of your thoughts. I know it's wild, but you can be mindful and you can notice, when I start thinking this way, when I start going down this rabbit hole, I don't feel good and I lose my power. Beginning to notice those sorts of things, reclaiming your badass, empowered self. Your soul is free. There's no person, no old white dude, no husband, no mom, no roommate who owns and controls you and your soul. That's on you. That's you. For the Scorpio New Moon, consider mindfully observing the layers of conditioning that you are cloaked in, and also some of the conditioning that you have internalized that you think are a part of your value system, and really being aware and reevaluating here. And consider forgiveness. So get clear, forgive, let go, and get ready, because the real work begins in early 2021, and this is a time to clean some shit up that you don't want to take with you over there. Like, you don't want to take with you over to 2021 that someone else controls you. Alrighty? All right. Love you. Bye bye.